2026 is looking like a massive year for people who love to be scared, with big names and creepy new ideas both fighting for space on our hard drives. If you enjoy the feeling of dread while sitting in a dark room, you're in luck, because the upcoming lineup is stacked.
At the top of everyone's list is Resident Evil Requiem. This is the 9th big game in the series, and it's taking us back to the ruins of Raccoon City, which feels like a real treat for longtime fans. The story jumps ahead 30 years after the first disaster, and we're following a new character named Grace Ashcroft. She's an investigator looking into some dark secrets left behind in the wasteland. The coolest part for many will be the return of Leon Kennedy. The game is letting players swap between first-person and third-person views, so you can choose exactly how close you want to get to the monsters. With a new Nemesis system, where a creature hunts you down throughout the game, this one is definitely going to keep people on edge when it drops in late February.
Right around the same time, we're getting Reanimal. This game comes from the same people who made the first 2 Little Nightmares games, and you can really see that creepy style in the trailers. It's a co-op game about a brother and sister trying to save their friends on a very messed up island. The monsters look like twisted, gross versions of animals, and because it's built for 2 players, you and a friend can experience the nightmares together. It keeps that tiny character and a huge, scary world feel that made their previous games so popular, but everything looks much bigger and more detailed this time around. If you like classic Japanese horror, the remake of Fatal Frame 2: Crimson Butterfly is coming in March. This isn't just a simple port. They've completely rebuilt it to make the lighting and the ghosts look terrifyingly real. You play as twin sisters trapped in a lost village filled with spirits, and your only defense is an old camera that can trap ghosts. There's a new mechanic where the sisters hold hands as they walk, and you can actually feel the tension through the controller when things start to go wrong. It's a slower, more psychological kind of fear that focuses on the atmosphere rather than just jump scares.
For fans of classic horror movies, Halloween the Game is finally letting us step into the shoes of Michael Myers or try to survive his rampage. Unlike a lot of recent movie games that were only online, this one actually has a full single-player story mode. It captures the look and feel of the original 1978 movie perfectly. Being chased through Haddonfield while that famous piano music plays is enough to give anyone goosebumps. Whether you're playing as a survivor hiding in a closet or as the killer himself, the game is designed to feel like a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek, where one mistake means it's game over.
Now, a very strange and exciting project called Directive 8020. This comes from the studio that made Until Dawn, and it takes horror into deep space. It's a survival game where you're on a ship far from Earth, but there's a shape-shifting alien on board. It takes a lot of inspiration from movies like The Thing, where you can't really trust the other characters. Since it's a narrative game, every choice you make can lead to someone living or dying. They've added more real-time action and combat this time, so it won't just be watching movies and pressing buttons. The feeling of being trapped in a metal box in the middle of space with something that can look like your friends is a recipe for some serious sleepless nights.
One of the most exciting games on the horizon is Clive Barker's Hellraiser Revival. People have been waiting for a truly good game based on this series for years, and it looks like it's finally happening. You play as a guy named Aiden, who's desperately trying to save his girlfriend after she gets pulled into a hellish dimension. To do it, you have to use the famous puzzle box to gain dark powers, which sounds like a very dangerous trade-off. The game is being billed as a single-player experience, focused on heavy atmosphere and gross supernatural creatures. Having the original actor for Pinhead back to do the voice makes it feel like a real love letter to the fans.
For something completely different, there is a game called Grave Seasons. This is being published by Blumhouse, the movie company, and it's one of the strangest mashups I've seen. On the surface, it looks like a cozy farming game where you move to a quiet mountain town, grow crops, and make friends with the neighbors. The catch is that one of the people in town is a randomly generated serial killer. As you go about your daily life, people will start disappearing, and you have to figure out who the killer is before you're next. It's a very cool idea because you might end up dating the person who is actually trying to hunt you. It turns the normally relaxing farming genre into a game of high-stakes paranoia.
If you prefer monsters that are 40 feet tall, Jurassic Park Survival is taking us back to the original island from the 1993 movie. You play as a scientist who got left behind after everyone else evacuated, and you have to survive on your own. This isn't a game where you run around shooting dinosaurs with a machine gun. It's much more about being quiet and smart. You have to hide in the bushes while a T-Rex stalks past, or try to outwit a pack of raptors in the old kitchen. Everything from the sound of the rain to the iconic gates of the park has been recreated to make you feel like you are actually in the movie. It's a very intense, lonely experience that focuses on the survival part of survival horror.
Then we have a game simply called Ill, which has been making waves online for its incredible graphics. It's a first-person game set in a massive research facility that has been taken over by things called aberrations. These aren't your typical zombies. They are twisted piles of flesh and bone that move in very human ways, which makes them even creepier to look at. The game features some of the most detailed body horror ever seen in a video game, with monsters that react realistically when they get hit. It's meant to be very difficult and gory, focusing on the physical struggle of fighting off things that shouldn't exist. There is a title called Chronos: The New Dawn. This one comes from the team that recently found a lot of success with the Silent Hill 2 remake, and it looks like they are leaning even harder into sci-fi horror. It's a third-person game where you travel through time between a futuristic world and a ruined version of the past. You wear a high-tech suit and have to fight off mutated creatures while solving puzzles that span different eras. It has a very heavy, claustrophobic feel, similar to games like Dead Space, but with a weird time travel twist that keeps the story feeling fresh. The way the world changes around you as you move through time adds a level of tension that makes you feel like you're never truly safe.